What type of isometrics should I do for freestyle wrestling? Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name is Eric Moss. I'm a personal trainer, motivational speaker, and a modern-day performing strongman. If you're unfamiliar with what a modern-day performing strongman is, picture the old-time strongman. Legends of the past like the mighty Adam and Alexander Zass. They would perform real-life feats of strength as part of a live show. I do a similar thing, but with a modern-day twist. Some of the feats of strength that I've performed in front of a live audience include things like bending steel bars, breaking chains with my chest, twisting horseshoes, rolling up frying pans, driving nails through wooden boards by hand, and holding back a high-performance motorcycle. Now, being a modern-day performing strongman and the fact that there's not a whole lot of us around these days, in an effort to grow my YouTube channel by giving you guys what you want, I started a YouTube series called Ask Eric Moss, where I would invite you to ask me a question by dropping it in the comments below. And when you do that, I try to get back to you with your very own custom video answering your question. Pretty neat, right? So this question comes from at 09Z. And they said, hey, what type of isometrics should I do for freestyle wrestling? Thank you for asking that. So, there are a number of things that you can do for freestyle wrestling. When it comes to freestyle wrestling, a lot of it is going to be yielding strength, but a lot of it is going to be overcoming strength. Yielding strength in essence is attempting to prevent movement, right? So things like planks and stuff like that, holding weights, that sort of thing, could help with that. But in terms of overcoming isometrics, actually prior to this question, I was like leafing through Steve Justice's Iron Isometrics book the other day, and came across what I think would probably be a really good one, and that would be using a telephone pole, right? If you could see, telephone pole isometrics. Now specifically, I mean, pushing on it and pulling on it would help, but specifically the bear hug. If you can grab a hold of that telephone pole, it doesn't have to be a telephone pole, it could be a tree or another immovable object that you can't really, well, if it's immovable, you can't really move it, but not everything's immovable, as I talk about during my shows, right? But if you grab that telephone pole and you squeeze it hard and you try to lift it out of the ground, that is going to help with things like suplexes. If you're in the clinch position and you pull them close, that forcing them to bend back, and also resisting them doing that, which would be that pushing thing. Other than that, trying to row, I think would have a high carryover. Pushing against door frames, right? And if you think about the different positions that you're in when you're in freestyle wrestling, and think of the demands that are placed upon your body. I don't really freestyle wrestle, so I can only speculate from an outsider looking in. But you being someone that is more involved with that, think of the different ways in a freestyle match, or the different drills that you do. Think of the different ways that you're going to be putting force out there and resisting force, and then find a way to simulate some aspect that is not the exact same thing. Although, you know, it's like one of the issues when it comes to sport-specific training, at least with things like playing basketball, is that trying to recreate the sporting movement and trying to replicate it with weights can sometimes throw off the neural patterning associated with the movement. So like as an example, there was like a study done on basketball players where they weighted a basketball and had them practice the 3-point shot. And the ones that used the weighted basketball, it actually made their technique worse because there's specific timing sequences of our muscles and patterns and stuff like that. And having a weight can throw it off. I don't think that that necessarily applies to wrestling. So you could probably get pretty specific when it comes to doing the techniques involved with freestyle wrestling and trying to recreate it specifically with isometrics. That could probably provide value. But you would have to envision the different things that you're doing, the different demands that are placed on your body in a freestyle match with the different scenarios, and then apply isometrics to those positions to be able to match the demands associated with the sport. But I hope that that answers your question. If anybody else has any questions for me, or if you drop it in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you with your very own custom video. But if you liked this video, let me know by hitting that like button if you want to see more of this sort of thing, or you want to see the chronicles from my various performances across the country. Subscribe to the channel. If you think anybody should see this, please share it with them. This YouTube thing isn't rocket science. And if you want to support the channel, do all the things that I just mentioned. That helps me get found by the algorithm and other people that might be interested in what it is that I have to offer. And you can also provide a super thanks. That sort of thing helps me out. And you can also pick up a copy of my book that chronicles my story, becoming a modern-day performing strongman, and the various things that I learned along the way, as well as some fun stories. And everybody that's read it had told me that they enjoyed it. But that's it for today. Stay tuned for next time. And in the meantime, please stay happy, healthy, and strong. Eric Moss, over and out.